Hey, hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into this. This is going to be a today's topic video. It is for the 17th of December. And, I feel like I want to go with a different deck. This one. Okay, sorry about my delay there. It's important that I pick the correct one, the one that my hand likes. We have a Three of Cups. The 17th could be a day of companionship, friendship, could be a great day to reach out to old friends, new friends, share some laughs, be lighthearted, really enjoy the company of the people that, make a bright spot in our life. It could also be, spend time with family. Oh, wow, we doubled down on that. Spend time with friends, also spend time with our furry friends. We have doggies in two of these cards, so I'm all about it. But it looks like in each one of these cards, it says the thing that will move our life forward the most is not trials, tribulations, thinking about stresses, worrying about things or fretting over relationships, but rather the thing that moves our life forward the fastest and makes us feel better are the connections that are supportive in our lives, are the things that make us laugh and give us a lighter and brighter bounce in our step. What makes our day feel like it goes faster is when we actually have like some sweet, adorable memory. Like that is one of those things, people always say, oh, the thing that people use the internet for the most is to look at cat videos, or in my case, dog videos. No, I don't really spend a lot of time looking at pet videos, but there are some adorable pet videos out there for sure. And you know why I think that's awesome is because it's sweet, it's innocent, puts a smile on your face, gives you that warm fuzzy. I mean, how does that not make your day better? How does that not make you like start out with a greater likelihood of smiling at somebody because you're in a good mood? Just like if somebody tells you a funny little joke, sometimes you'll wind up laughing about that for the next 3 hours on and off if it pops back into your head at a random time. Or you can tell that joke to somebody else who tells it to somebody else. And then throughout the day, it's like a string of 150 people all had a better day because of one person telling a joke at the bus stop. There are little tiny happy things, simple things, seemingly simple things that if we added a bit more of that, the same way if we make food, and it's like, well, this is an okay dish, but if you add that one special little bit, for me, it's like, I love cilantro. So you add cilantro into, almost anything, and I'm going to be even happier. To me, well, okay, it doesn't go with everything, but pretty much I love cilantro. It feels like that, like spice up your day with moments of happiness and notice how much further you get in a day or how much further you get in life as a whole, or how much more motivation you have to keep bringing good things into your life. This is so sweet and it's so positive. I do feel like the challenge here is to like find a hilarious joke, a cute, funny, joke that's like non-offensive to anybody. Sometimes those are the cutest, funniest one. I'll never forget when my niece was like, I don't know, she seemed like she was probably not more than about 5. She, it's at the age where kids learn jokes and they don't quite know why it's funny, but the way they tell it is so cute. And she said, what did the ocean say to the beach? Nothing, it just waved. And I always thought that was so sweet being delivered by her little voice. And she still had no clue. She was very sincere and she was trying to remember it. And it was so sweet and such a funny little memory because she told the joke so very well for a 5-year-old. But still didn't understand it herself. And I think those little things, like doing something funny, doing something a little bit, offbeat and sweet, can sometimes make everybody's day better. There's a lot of trauma in the world. And sometimes we forget that even in the adult world, we're all still, little kids on the inside. And so sweet, simple things, petting a nice doggy is really soothing. Sharing a silly joke, sharing some sweet treat. Like we all still have a sweet tooth. It's exciting when somebody brings some cookies to the office. It's exciting to, do things that are maybe just little kid things. And maybe particularly around the holidays, maybe somebody needs to be lighter and brighter, on the 17th, just because it can be a stressful time of the year. We have Two of Pentacles. We have Nine of Wands. We have the Devil. And we have Queen of Swords. Okay, so here's the other reason it's really imperative to be in a better mood on the 17th and to move forward only toward lighter things, brighter things, spend more time with family, take some time and text loving words to people we care about. Take a walk on our lunch break and talk to our coworkers about happy, funny things. So we come back from a lunch break in a terrific mood instead of griping about how much we hate this or that in our lives. Instead of talking about trauma, drama, bring up something positive, support each other, do something great, get outside a little bit more, like make time for our bodies and ourselves also, because on the 17th, not everything will be peachy keen. In fact, our character on the 17th may have to figure out how to respond to something that could show up in their life that they weren't expecting. It could be a text from somebody that they've had conflict with. It could be somebody that they've been, emotionally really hooked onto for a long time. This could be a text that comes out of nowhere. It could be right when they're thinking that they've been staying away from this for a while, distancing themselves. They've been trying to actively heal. They've been thinking that they're doing pretty good. And of course, just when we're about to heal is usually when sometimes we can get sucked back into, a memory. In this case, I think somebody's going to be texting our character, sending a message. And I think instead of responding, it says, remember the good vibes from earlier in the day. And when that text comes in, instead of letting it, wash over us with make a character feel rattled and feel upset, get calm, step outside, sit, have some nice air, let the energy be cleansed, and then consult with one's guides and say, how should I handle this? Don't fire a text back. Don't instantly respond, especially if this is coming from an ex, or this feels kind of exy, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe these two are siblings. We don't know what their relationship is. We know that they have not been in communication. We know that there's either hurt feelings, fear, anger, pain, anything that we associate with the devil, right? The devil brings out the worst in us. It brings out our fears. It brings out pettiness. It brings out, all the stuff. Now he's sitting in the lap of the devil, and the devil is looking over his text. So I don't know if he's writing something that could be a little inflammatory, or if this is him sitting in a space of fear, desperately wondering what is she going to respond with. And maybe that's the other reason for her to sit and contemplate. Don't fire something back when it might have taken all his strength just to send this message. Maybe it's not a great thing that he's doing it. Maybe it's a wonderful thing that he's doing it, but he's sitting in the lap of fear, or maybe send something mean. Either way, she shouldn't respond and react. She should get calm first. It's really hard to respond wisely. Sometimes wisdom takes a moment to come to us. Other times our knee-jerk reaction maybe is our subconscious, telling us the wise thing to do. But especially if we get an instant, like, this is what I want to say, do we have to instantly react? Or could we say, this is my first impression. Now let me consider. Let me be calm. Let me sit for a little bit. Let me cleanse my energy. Let me consult with my higher self and say, higher self, is my first reaction my honest reaction, my truthful reaction, and the reaction that I'd like to display? Are these the words I should choose? Are these words spoken from my heart? What is my motive for the way I was reacting? What is it at the heart of it? Sometimes we don't know what we think until, like maybe instead of texting it and sending it, maybe she needs to just write it down, carry it around in her pocket for a while, and then reread it a day, or I usually have a 3-day rule, but reread what our thoughts are like 3 days later. And then, because it's almost like we forgot we're the ones who wrote it by 3 days. And then we can see who was that person who wrote those words. meaning who was I that day? How did I react? Why did it make me feel a certain way? Because it's going to be oozing out of those words that we wanted to respond with. But if we give ourselves a chance to better understand how we felt in the moment, maybe this will be better for her. It really is the encouragement not to react without cleansing energy, especially when a text or message comes in. High Priestess and Queen of Wands. The High Priestess is in the reverse, so it's a big reveal. And then the Queen of Wands energy is somebody who stands very much in their power, stands there and says, I know what I think about this. I know what I need to say about this. I know what I need to do about this. I need to go ahead and always choose, what is in my greatest and highest good, which for her could be, in the end, maybe she says nothing and she just goes on. Or it could be, you know what? I'm realizing that this made me feel good. This is something I would like to respond to. She's going to know what the message really means and how to interpret it. And keep in mind, responding is only 50% of it. Interpreting something needs to happen before we know how to respond. So that's the other reason that wonderful clinical mind of a Queen of Swords is going to first interpret, and might even be she needs to ask herself, what do I think that they're reaching out for? What did their words convey to me? What energy are they saying? Do I understand what they're conveying, or do I need to ask them before I respond? I'm not certain. What do you mean by this? Or, before I respond, what is your motive for writing to me? I'm not certain I understand, so I don't know how to respond to you yet. What did you mean? Why do you say this or that? Maybe that's before we can really respond, we do have to understand what it is that we're responding to. So if there is some back and forth, it might not be answers. It might be actually a question is posed with another question. It feels like the High Priestess will have the answers that she needs to then make a decision as a Queen of Wands, which brings her back to, what do I want to do? A Queen of Wands always says, what do I like? What do I want to do? What's our final message in all this? A Nine of Cups. The Queen of Wands is going to end up not having a bad day after all. She's going to end up, this whole thing may play out over the course of an entire day and into the evening. And I think it ends up being wonderful, even though we had that wobbly moment. But again, staying at a good vibe right from the gate, all day, from the morning all the way through. Have the best day possible on the 17th. It'll give our character greater capacity to deal with something that could rattle them a little bit. It'll give them kinder, responses if they're in a good mood. It'll maybe allow them to pause a little bit longer and think about things and then handle this with more grace. It works out really well for our Queen. May I just ask, though, what is their message, or what is the Devil energy about? We have Ace of Wands and we have Two of Wands. And here he is. He spent a lot of time thinking, should I send this? Should I not? I've written it. I've thrown it away. I've written it. I've thrown it away. Maybe I shouldn't intrude on her life, but he needs to get this off his chest. And I do feel like he has a strong desire to talk to her again. I think that's what it boils down to, but he's really nervous. Another really good reason to handle somebody with gentleness or with care, because it might take everything they've got to send a message, especially if it's been a while, and to instantly, be angry or something, or what do you want? Why the hell are you contacting me? If she doesn't want to be contacted, just don't say anything at all, perhaps. Or if she understands that it might have taken this person everything they had to write to her, then consider and then move forward with a gentleness here, because they might be very fearful in sending this message. He's definitely been in deep thought about this. This is somebody who went up on a mountainside and considered and reconsidered, and he still doesn't know if this is a good idea or not. But I feel like what he's got to say is something maybe from the heart. I mean, with that Ace of Wands, that's definitely heart-centered. We have the Hermit. Here he is again, off by himself. And we have the Emperor. He went on some big old like hermit's journey, some mountain retreat. He went on a long hike, a long walk. He's really, now this could just be down the corridor of his mind, but I feel like he's been spending some serious time by himself with his own thoughts, trying to figure out what to say. And in truth, what he says, although he's scared about the reaction, I think he boiled it down to, here's the truth. So it may come out as pretty succinct, and it may come out, and sometimes things that mean a lot don't have very many words to them. He may have boiled it down to, instead of all this verbose, paragraphs, he might distill it down to a simple message of, I miss talking to you. I miss you. I want to talk to you. Whatever it is, from an emperor's lips, after distilling down his thoughts so much, he may bring it to something very succinct. And that's the other reason for her to maybe do the same. If somebody says that they miss talking or they want to talk to her, the immediate thought is like, why? What's your motive? What is it? You're just lonely, or I'm actually important, or you miss my voice, or blah, blah. There's a million different things to think. Or we can calm our questions and say, wait a second, let me take this at face value. They miss talking to me. Okay, well, then what is it that you'd like to talk about? You've reached me. So what kinds of things did you want to talk about? It may just be an awkwardness that exists between two people, could actually be gotten over by simplifying things. And I almost feel like she'll know the right path for herself, if she wants to communicate with this person or not. But everything here says simplicity. Everything here says non-reactionary. Everything here says make life be about better interactions, not painful ones. So anyway, I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I really appreciate you being here. I so appreciate you guys supporting my art the way you do by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.